now half the meals got tentacles. Half the Emirates need a reservation and half my money goes straight to taxes. But I don't trip about it, that's what happens when you got dreams closer than a match. And plus all your boys got expensive habits. Go. I know what they're thinking, they don't even gotta say it. Nope. They ain't thinking they just made it. I know how to make everybody feel famous. I don't gotta work no day shift. I don't gotta split no payment. I don't gotta answer questions. And I don't need you to okay it. Yeah. Okay. 30,000 in the pocket, no change. Okay. I might pass the ball, but this is no game. Okay. All my girls, they love and hate me the same. Okay. So when I die, I ain't gonna be from old age. Somebody gonna want revenge. Somebody might want it now. Right pocket got euros. Left pocket got pounds.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 48 back in 2014, there's a look at MetLife Stadium here in East Rutherford. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. As we take a peek at Sam Darnold, the former USC Trojan and third pick in the 2018 draft.
And I thought it was a really nice performance last week by him. 3 touchdown passes. I think that signifies exactly what he was getting done. He did have the 1 interception.
But that's the ratio you say you're okay with, right?
If you go 3-1, you're going to be pretty happy over the course of the season. And let's face it, he'll never blame the receiver publicly. But behind closed doors, he probably told his agent, hey, what's the deal? I should have had a perfect game.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Offensive starters time. Electric is certainly a word that comes to mind when you talk about Le'Veon Bell.
Love the way that he reshaped his body coming out of college. A bigger, thicker runner while he was at Michigan State. Lost weight, became more of a whippet in the NFL, and now no one can tackle the guy, whether he's running it or catching it.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Jet first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Well, look now at our starting defense. They're slightly better than average against the run, number 14 in the NFL.
They're not an elite unit. They're not, as what you'd say, the top part of the league against the run. They're a solid group, though. They do a good job. What they're looking for in this one, though, is an elite performance.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. Oh, and this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked up by Rock Ya-Sin. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Colts TD. Well, it was third down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And this is good to make it 7-0 Indy. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And now out come the Jets. Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
You got three down.
They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw, Darnold. He's going to loft this one deep left side, and that's caught inside the 35. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds.
That's a great job of working the sideline right there. I love how he tracked the football the whole way, just reached up and pulled it in, had excellent field presence to understand where he was in order to make that play happen.
I'm
sure as a coach, when you throw the flag, you hold your breath, then you get the verification you were right, a sigh of relief.
Not only a sigh of relief, a little vindication as well, because every time you pull that red flag and throw it, you could be costing your team a timeout.
A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And a glance at the tall signal caller, standing 6'6".
What I enjoyed this week is that you asked to talk to his offensive center before the game and find out a little bit more about him and what the relationship is. And that was a pretty positive story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really what I took away from that is just how it has permeated throughout the entire offensive line, the relationship they've had. It's really a group that's in sync.
They care about him. That's the thing. They really care. And when you care that much, you're going to play that much harder for him and give him a better chance to lead the team to wins.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete. And here are the Colts offensive starters.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
Throwing again. Hamilton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
60 or. Watch the run, watch the run. 57 to Mike, 57 to Mike. Hit it.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Hamilton. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a good result there as that'll get out of bounds and pin them back at their 10-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
And New York set to take the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And an alley to run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
On 1st and 10, Darnold. He's going to find his tight end. That's Chris Herndon. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Bell, and that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Darnold from the gun, and he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
Now Edwards to kick as he sends it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Check 13. Check 13. Wide. Get wide. Screen.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12. We should mention, to go along with a great game he had last week, he was rightfully named AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he shares that with his offensive line, the tight end, his fullback. He's looking for more and more of that in this game.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And DP goes into Jets territory before being taken down. A big play there on the catch and run. 77 yards.
60 Pittsburgh. Protein spill. That's a safety cream. Safe. Check. Shift. Keep grip.
They'll run here with Mack. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. Defensively, here are the starters for the New York Jets. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
One thing you do know, they'll be fired up because they're facing a top 5 rushing attack. And even if they have early success against them, they got to remember they got to sustain it, because teams that are top 5, they don't stop running the ball if they don't get things done early.
Tight dog. Shoot.
They'll run it with Mack, and he takes it in for a Colts score. Marlon Mack with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A check on the numbers receiving for Anderson last week. 4 catches, 105 yards.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that he's off to a hot start here in this first month, and those are the kind of performances you expect to see going forward.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Jet first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. From just shy of midfield, Darnold, that's complete. It's Bell. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It'll be a pickup of 16 at a Jet first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and this shows on the scoreboard.
On second down, it's Bell. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming.
Hey, man, watch the boot. Spot!
A shotgun snap for Darnold. Throw complete to Herndon. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
After the made field goal, Badgley back out there for the kickoff. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Marlon Mack now heading back out there. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called in.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Looking for Campbell downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was looking that time to get it to Paris Campbell. That'll bring up second down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, forthcoming.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot. And on that play, they were able to stop him short of a 1st down.
And we put our focus now on Le'Veon Bell.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From the end zone, here's Darnold. Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
Marlon Mack now heading back out there. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here we go on 2nd and 12. Wide open receiver complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark it. Down at the 49. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Hamilton. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Calvin Ridley his first touchdown on the year. And the Colts, they add on to their advantage. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So out now come the Jets. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. You got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Now it's Darnold. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And he will score. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
That pick six extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the third quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
Now McManus for the extra point. And that stretches the lead to 27. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Le'Veon Bell and the Jets ready to begin their next drive. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help, and I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, and he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
On third down, here's Bell. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field.
You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. This quarterback now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. The throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
I'm going back to you.
To throw again. Hamilton. Campbell making the catch. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 17 and an Indianapolis first down.
Here we go. Set.
So first and 10 now from the 30.
Ready.
Looking to throw. Hamilton. He's going to fire one deep. He's got him in. Complete. And even 30 yards on a play that began back at the 30. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. Looking to run with Mack. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Marlon Mack in the final seconds of the first half as his guys continue to pour it on.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The New York offense taking over for their next possession. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. This one taken just inside the 10. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Colts to take over. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and right now looking good in this one as well.
Set. 8, read. I know he ain't got it. Shift. 36. Check 3. 5.
Third quarter starts with a run by Mack. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go again. Deuce. Watch twist. Look at me. Door. 6 guys. Check this.
Staying on the ground with Mack. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Flare.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Kill.
On 1st and 10, Hamilton looking for Campbell downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Here we go.
This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Hamilton. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Vincent Smith, his 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
I know a lot of people look at these games and think, all right, this thing's done. Let's have some sportsmanship. Let's not try and score. You should never do that in the NFL. I've seen big leads blown and teams that look like they had a victory, all of a sudden we're going home with a loss.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Jets offense now as they get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Darnold, it's caught. Smith. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Darnold now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Darnold off the play fake to Bell. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
Here's a throw out wide to Anderson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
They completed the screen on the perimeter, but boy, that was textbook defense. Exactly as you're taught to play against a wide receiver screen, and they snuffed it out for a loss of yardage.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And last time out, another touchdown. I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
to be fairly clear
that is
by the time
one
we have to
positive.
leave the booth.
They keep it on the ground. Mack again. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 3rd down, a run by Mack. He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. And finally, down at the 36-yard line. That one 28 yards on the ground. Only needed 1 yard. He said, I'll get you more than that.
Yeah, yard, piece of cake, right? And if you're a defender, Seeing the back of the jersey and being able to read his name, not a good thing. That means you're in chase mode. That didn't go well for them on that snap.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That's good for an Indianapolis first down on a gain of 10.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
10-2 stop. Pick it up. 5.
They'll run with a big man, Campbell. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. A gain of 11 that time and a Colts first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Here's Marlon Mack. And able to surge forward for about 5 yards down to the 10.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They'll go again here with Mack. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. On third down. It's Campbell, and they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The New York offense taking over for their next possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
To throw again on second down. Darnold into the hands of his receiver, Anderson. That catch good for 5. It's third down. The Jets on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now a draw play. This is Bell. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Calvin Ridley and the offense for their next drive. They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the 1 touchdown score to this point. On first down, they'll start out with Mack. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's scooped up by the Jets. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Colts territory. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. The Jets on third down, as bad as you can be. 0 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Darnold firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Jets.
And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead. And unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
That ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You just tried to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. This ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Recon, 132 fighter.
They go right back to Mack. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Kill. Let's go. Get set.
Running the jet sweep with Ridley, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Go. Check. Hey, switch gears. Go.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over above 50 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. On the run, it's Campbell. And tough sledding. He'll get maybe a yard. Stop short of the 35.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. And they'll go jet sweep to try to pick it up. Well, he pushed forward, but I don't think it's enough. He's going to be about a yard short. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. The kick by McManus is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This is taken at his 4. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Le'Veon Bell making his way back out onto the field now. So after that hot start, the numbers here show the decline. What has the defense done adjustment-wise?
Sometimes when you have a running back who's getting off to a hot start, you've got to catch him before he really gets going. So you change what you do across the defensive front. Instead of the linebackers being back a few yards, you bring them up closer. It's what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, taking away a lot of blocking angles and gaps, and maybe stopping him before he can get going.
Mugging the line of scrimmage, okay.
Yeah, in this case.
Now the throw pulled in by Anderson, and he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. Now Darnold, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position.
Hey, Sam off.
They'll run on 1st down with Marlon Mack. He'll have a 1st down inside the 10, and he gets it all the way down to the 3. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Colts, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles